Hello, my name is Sarah Gordon and I'm one of the new lecturers that will be taking you through this next module, Play and the Practitioner Role. So just to kick us off, babies and young children are powerful learners, reaching out into the world and making sense of their experiences with other people, objects and events. And as they explore and learn, children are naturally drawn to play, and we see this every day in our practice. Play is recognised as so important to their well-being and development. And I think we're seeing more than ever now, after COVID, some of our children coming back into our settings have forgotten how to play. They have either not had those opportunities at home or other things have been happening. And so we're having to reteach them how to play in our provision. Play is absolutely fundamental, and it's set down in the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child, 1989. And I know that you have seen this document before, and it has been referred to in previous modules. And we know that play is absolutely fundamental within the early years foundation stage. So being an adult, an effective adult as practitioners, we have a duty to help children to learn through these playful pedagogies. And our role is to support, stimulate and extend learning through supporting, initiating experiences, interacting skillfully with the children in play and planning their activities. Moving on. So we have a set of documents that we need to use in our everyday practice. So we have the revised statutory and non-statutory documents, and you will have seen most of these. You may be using all of them, you may be using one of them or a couple of them, but as you know, our statutory framework is the one that we must adhere to. And the other three documents that you hear on the slide are those which are along the lines of development matters, and they give us guidance as professionals in our work, in our everyday work. So the statutory framework, what does it say about play? Play is essential for children's development in building their confidence as they learn to explore, relate to others, and set their own goals and solve problems. And us as practitioners must stimulate children's interests, respond to each child's emerging need, and guide their development through warm, positive interactions. And we do this day in, day out, always responding to children's needs, always responding to their love of learning and the things that really interest them individually. The DFE document, which looks a lot better, I have to say, since they've reworked it in this A3 format, and they've added a few pictures, which breaks it up a bit. Here they talk about effective pedagogy as a mix of different approaches. Now, pedagogy is something we're going to look at in a little bit more detail in this module. It says that children learn through play, by adults modelling, by observing each other, and through guided learning and direct teaching. And the play and exploring section is under the characteristics of effective learning, and this is where you can find it in this document. Moving on. Working with the revised early years foundation stage principles into practice, Julian Grenier. Now, we know that Julian Grenier was responsible and quite fundamental to the changes in the revised EYFS. So he has had an input in the DFE document and this book that he has himself. Now, as a practitioner in school, before I came to work for Sheffield, as a school we decided to work with this document because it led us to the early learning goals, which, as you know, have now changed. And as a foundation stage within a school, we needed to have a development matters that was going to help us and guide us towards the end goals at the end of the reception year. So this document talks about play, which is child-led, freely engaged in and enjoyed by children, play which is sensitively supported and extended by adults, and play which is guided towards specific educational outcomes. Free play is crucial to children's development, and he talks a lot about that in this book. I like the fact that he uses the word enjoyable, because play is an enjoyable function of children's learning. So actually, when you have a look at this document in a bit more detail, you will see that the language that he uses is a lot more about fun, play, enjoyment. So moving on to Birth of 5 Matters. Now, Birth of 5 Matters provides a comprehensive guidance, drawing on previous guidance for the early years foundation stage, which has been updated in order to reflect recent research and to meet our needs as practitioners and to respond to current issues in society and to meet the needs of children today and to lay a strong foundation for their futures. This document really has the child at the heart of everything that we do. And you can find Birth of 5 Matters website. It's a comprehensive guide with lots of resources, lots of YouTube clips in order to help practitioners guide them through providing the right curriculum for young children. So the key points there in their documentations: children have the right to play. Play is both indoors and outdoors and makes a powerful contribution to children's well-being. In play, children can become deeply involved as they take things they already know and combine them in new ways. And children choose play and are in charge of play. So this document looks very similar actually to the other documents that we've used previously. So some practitioners have really enjoyed using this document over the others. So I'd just like to leave you with a reflective task here. So we have 3 non-statutory documents that we can pull on in our everyday practice. You may be familiar with all 3, 2, or just one of them. And you may have been asked just to use one of them without actually having the time to look at all 3 documents. So this will give you a bit of time to reflect on the different messages around play in the EYFS. I've uploaded a grid for you to use to compare and contrast your findings. And once you've had a look at the messages from play and you have contrasted your findings, share these reflections with peers in your buddy groups or with your colleagues that you work with. Thank you.